Hey, what's up? I'm Hype. I play games, make games, and everything in between. And today I'm going to show you the multiplayer Space Invaders game I made. Let's go. I enjoy doing things I've never done before, and making a Space Invaders game with multiplayer has kind of been a dream of mine. This week I decided to make that dream a reality. This game took me a week to make, about 15 hours. Started making this game on Monday morning. Sunday night I created an outline of what I wanted to do. Pre-planning, figuring out certain mechanics before I sit down and go is always helpful. It's not necessary, but if I don't do it, I find myself just kind of like scratching my head for a good hour. And to be fair, I am not a morning person. I need my multiple cups of coffee and maybe even a cold shower. I just need help waking up. Having something written down gets the ball rolling, gets you out of that stagnant, I'm not awake yet, I don't want to do anything. This just gets things moving. And it's super simple. This took like 20 minutes for me to make. I downloaded some pixel images of the enemies from Space Invaders, and this will be my template when creating these pixel-like enemies in the game. Already saving me time searching Google and finding images that I would like to use. I didn't stick with all of these initial ideas. When you're making games, you gotta adapt along the way. Try different things, play test different things, see what works, see what doesn't work. You gotta figure out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and play to those so that you can continue to make games no matter the obstacle in front of you. Step one, we wanted to create the mechanic for the player, the enemy, and anything we see on the field. To be honest, I wasn't really sure how to set up multiplayer, so I saved that for the very last step. So I created this blue enemy box first. It controls the movement of the enemy. When the enemy hits the side wall, it causes the enemy to move down in the Y direction and the opposite X direction. Also includes a collision for when it gets hit by the player's bullet. And then when they get hit, this red box in the back gets spawned, which is about 18 different small red cubes that explode dynamically. These red boxes all have a random color generator in them, giving it a really cool look. It explodes and then be destroyed, and the objects are dynamic, giving it a more lifelike feel, although it may cause latency issues, so that's something I have to check on throughout the development process. Once this blue box was operating properly, I just copied that box multiple times and created the most adorable pixel space aliens based on that image that I found on the web. These are not all exactly identical. Some of them are very close. Some of them are just my own design. Down here we also have enemy bullets and the player bullets. So the enemy bullets are spawned randomly from the enemy, and then the player bullets shoots out from the player every 1 second. I put the player in this container. We can see the button controls left and right over here. In this little box, it's spawning the bullet that is shooting up towards the enemy. There's a jumping game in hypehype where the players can move seamlessly from the left wall and kind of portal to the right wall. So I wanted to add that in this game. This is the mechanic that helps create the seamless wall. That was really cool because I was just able to take that piece from another game, copy and paste it into this game. Another element of the game is this green wall, which goes above the player. It helps protect the player. The player can shoot it and the enemies can also shoot it. Once I had the player mechanic, the enemy mechanic, next when it came to spawning for the enemies, I also have them spawning at the very top with multiple intervals. Every 1 second, the same enemy will spawn 5 times. I used the interval node and compare node along with the switch node. All of this you can see how it's done in the app by hitting the remix button. When it came to multiplayer, how to set it up, how to start it, and how to do the game over, I came about halfway there, but I was just having some problems. Luckily I went to hypehype Discord to get some help from other developers, and PT Jones went above and beyond. Thank you. I appreciate your help. He helped me set up the spawning for the multiplayer, and to be honest, I was really close to it, but I was missing some pieces. And then the same thing happened when it came to the game over. We got the multiple different players, and the green area is the collision for the bullets in the game over. This is the player index. It notifies when a player comes into the game, assigns them a value, and is inputted into the multiplayer spawner node. The spawning is pretty simple. You keep track when a player joins or finishes. The game over is a little bit more complicated. You keep track when a player joins, leaves, or gets hit, and all that math goes into this compare node. And if that math equals out and everyone is dead, then the game over will activate. The last step, which is my favorite step, playtest and polishing. Playtesting, you should be doing it throughout the game development process. And the cool thing, when I was playtesting, people would come and join my games, which, to be honest, at some points was kind of difficult, because if I'm testing a game over and somebody is playing and they won't die, then I can't test the game over. But at the same time, it was just fun and fascinating. I'm working on a game, it's in development. Now I have like 2 to 3 people who are just shooting the Space Invaders. Okay, this is cool. Let's get back to making the game. Polishing is my favorite step because it's super creative, and the stress of getting all the game mechanics to work is done with. Whether it's the point system, player, enemy controls, when polishing, everything should be done, and the only goal now is to make things look cool. I just set this up with this kind of like cyberpunk city because I'm a cyberpunk fan, and this took a couple of hours to do. Overall, this was a fun game to make, my first multiplayer inspired by Space Invaders. And now that I've learned some of the core mechanics required to make a multiplayer game, I hope to make more in the future. If you have any questions, comments, let me know down below. And if you want to play this game, the link is also pinned to the comment section. Until next time, I'm Hypesy. Stay safe out there, and peace.